Honorable colleagues, my name is Alex Mascot Ikwechegh, and I represent the artisanal people of Aba North and Aba South in this incorruptible assembly.
Indeed, an incorruptible assembly. My name is Mazezoke, and I welcome you to this late night stream. The only reason why I'm coming to you late is because there's been a lot of activities happening in so many areas. So sorry about that, but we are late. But even when we are late, we can still get things done right. So let's start again. And in starting again, we'll start from the beginning. And let's start.
Speaker, honorable colleagues, my name is Alex Mascot Ikwechegh, and I represent the artisanal people of Aba North and Aba South in this incorruptible assembly.
Okay. So this is an incorruptible assembly, as you all know. So this is an incorruptible assembly. Yeah, as you all know, here on Njenge Media 2 is an incorruptible assembly too. We have assembled this night to once more look at this. The man in question has apologized. Apologized to who, you may ask? He knew that he offended Nigerians, and not only the taxi driver or the boat driver, that he offended Nigerians. And he sent his apology to Nigerians. And so many Nigerians have actually begun to say that what he rendered today in the flow of the green chambers at the 3M zone in Abuja was not an apology. It's not for me to say whether it is an apology or not. I would want you, my viewer, to also hear him out and see if this is an apology. But hey, before we continue, would you do me a favor? Click on the like button, click on share, and if you haven't, please, I beg of you, remember to click on the subscribe button as well. As you're watching me now, if you click on the subscribe button, you would appear on the screen. There's a free advert. The whole world will know. You know, when we're, within the Christendom, they will do altar call. You come out, you confess that you're now a Christian. Please, I beg of you, could you click on the subscribe button to show the world that you have become an Njenge Media fan? So while I wait that you do that, let's quickly start. So earlier today, the first day that the assembly sat, he had the following to say.
Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I just want to state once again that I am human. Even though there was things were said, and those things I regret. I apologize to all Nigerians. Regardless of the provocation, there should be no reason why I should react in that form. So I want to use this opportunity to appeal to all Nigerians. Let us let what has happened remain in the past, and let us forge forward. Thank you once again.
Now, for some reason, I can see. Can you see him speak? If you can't see him speak, then I might have to do something different, right? If you can't see him speak, I might have to do something different and to bring him to bring the videos in a different form, because for some reason I'm not seeing the video from my other screen. So can you confirm if you can see the video? If you're not seeing it, then Papobi Noyedot can't see this speak. Okay. Yes, you can see him. Good evening. So in that case, we will do it differently. So we'll be hearing audios. We'll be hearing audios this time around. So you hear him there. You hear him say that he's sorry and he's apologizing to all Nigerians. The question is, do you think that he ought to apologize to all Nigerians? Or did he miss the opportunity to apologize to the Uber driver? If you ask me, I would have preferred that he apologized to the Uber driver. Yesterday, in one of the elite WhatsApp group, so a conversation ensued. And I said to someone, the challenge we have is he has already missed the opportunity of apology. The best time he should have apologized was yesterday, first thing in the morning, by calling that taxi driver to come. Either come to his house or he goes to him publicly, gets, maybe with a very dark man or fair guy, someone record them reconciling and probably, say, oh God, honestly, I'm sorry the way I treated you. I mean, it should be seen on camera holding the guy, and the guy should be seen also saying, okay, oh God, I forgive you, because that would have dropped all the legal actions. Because don't forget that there are legal cases already, lined up for that or for him. But in thinking, I cannot forget the part that he asked, do you know who I am? And I have been able to find the video I looked for the first day I had this conversation with us. Do you know who I am? And this is a video that answers that question.
9:30 Cape Town now.
I'm sorry, sir. That flight is
That
closed.
is a business class ticket.
Yes, sir, we could arrange a
Do
later
you know
flight.
who I am?
I didn't realize.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? There's a gentleman here who doesn't know who he is. If anyone is able to assist him, please report to the information desk.
When I watch this, it cracks me up all the time. And I wished, it's just a wishful thinking, I wished the taxi man would have, I wish that he had watched this when he said to him, do you know who am I? No, do you know who I am? And the taxi man would have said, no, I'm not aware there is a missing person. I'm not aware, Or if it were to be me, I would say in Buhari's voice, I'm not aware. Mutani, Kai Megirani, I am not very aware. Somebody is missing. If somebody I dey miss, make it a go miss safe. If he reach miss safe, I will to find the person or the person I will to miss Gabaraya Kaskiani. But nonetheless, he missed. Something happened, honestly, that is that when he tendered this apology once more, listen to that once more.
Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I just want to state once again that I am human. Even though there was things were said, and those things I regret. I apologize to all Nigerians. Regardless of the provocation, there should be no reason why I should react in that form. So I want to use this opportunity to appeal to all Nigerians. Let us let what has happened remain in the past, and let us forge forward. Thank you once again.
Okay. So listening to that, okay, suddenly that video appears at the end. It's quite, anyway, listen to that. Something then strikes me because here he has apologized. Benjamin Kalu from Abia State, the one that came out to say that Alex Oti, if he does not join the APC, he will be a one-time governor. The one that really got many people also angry by the utterances he made. The speaker appears not to be around, so he was one that superintended over the today's proceedings. He had the following to say. So I think the video is now working the way it ought to. Okay. So he had the following to say.
Like everybody in Nigeria wants us to do.
Now, look at the way he started. That everybody in Nigeria is wanting this guy to be suspended, but he's not going to suspend him like everybody in Nigeria wants him to be suspended. Basically, what this is confirming to us is that people, if before you are tweeting, add more fuel to the, even if fuel is expensive, add kerosene. It means they actually read, they feel our posts, they feel our anger. If not, he will not be saying that even if the way Nigerians are expecting him that they should be sacked or so he should be suspended, meaning that they know what Nigerians are thinking. They know that the right thing Nigerians are demanding is to have him suspended, even if it's for 2 weeks, at least as a lesson and deterrent to others. Listen to him again.
Like everybody in Nigeria wants us to do, for us to apply our rules and the house rules. Those in support of this say aye. Those against say nay. Those in support that this goes to House Committee on Ethics and Privilege say aye. Those against say nay. Yes.
You can see virtually all of them says it goes to the House of, to the subcommittee on ethics so that they can look into it and they can make that decision. Now, what happens next will mean I can categorically tell you here, and I'm willing to bet you 100 naira that this case is, the Germans will say vorbei. Italians will say finito. Es ist fertig. It's end. Oh, Google Gaskiani. Motani. I don't know how Yoruba they talk, but this case is ended. After what you will see next means don't bother yourself. In communication, sometimes I am more interested in the unspoken words than the spoken words. The body languages as to the spoken words. Listen to what the speaker, once he said the eyes have it, the way he twisted his mouth, his body language means, these people where they just buy data, they worry themselves, it's over.
Those against saying nay. Yes, the eyes have it.
You see that cheeky laugh? Did you see that? You see that cheeky B laugh?
Matter is hereby referred.
You see that cheeky laugh? The matter is hereby referred to the ethics and privileges. Let me play that cheeky laugh again.
Matter is hereby referred to Committee on Ethics and Privilege to look at it and get back to us in 2 weeks.
He laughs again and notes, he says, there's here, as we said, we've done it, is over. Brother, slap on. That's what he means. If you doubt me, I am willing to bet you. No, 1,000, 10,000, 100,000, or 1 million. That's it. I'm willing to bet you, however you want, let's bet that this matter is hereby dissolved. It reminds me when Abacha was the head of state. I recall when I tried in my early days to do an amateur stand-up comedian. amateur stand-up comedy. I know when Abacha dissolved Nupeng and Pengasin, it sounded like this. Nupeng and Pengasin is hereby dissolved. So this committee of ethics and privilege is hereby absolved. Thy colleague, who is a Salafin House of Assembly, you can go ahead and Salaf, but don't Salaf in the camera. You can go ahead and make somebody disappear, but don't disappear in the camera. You can even bring somebody to go inside the generator house, but don't bring it, make it somebody I look at you for camera. Gaskia, I don't finish. Sadly. That's it. The case is hereby finished. So, what can you do? There is nothing else you can do. If I may ask Asari Dokubo in his own words, he go shout, 70-year-old people.
Mumu not too much. You be mumu. You think say they wise. You are a mumu man.
We will find out who is the real mumu man. Okay. So, if we go further to this, we would then, the issue of assault, you see where a lawyer assaults the wife in a viral video, which would then link us back again to this question of assault. We'll ask ourselves, is it a privileged thing? Because do you know who I am? Recall when Femi Fani Kayode was in Cross River and the journalist asked him who was bankrolling him. I think he came to see Ayede, the then governor of Cross River State. Of course, we all know that Ayade was the one bankrolling. But when the journalist asked him that, he fled up and said that he had a short fuse. I said, well, okay, go buy stabilizer, because if you have a short fuse, that means your what's it called? Your thing got a blow. So go buy stabilizer to stabilize you. We move away from Femi Fani Kayode. We come to the senator from Adamawa State, Ado, the sex toy shop, how he abused a woman in there, to this one who also abused someone, Sunday night, because obviously that individual, in his mind, is a poor person that ought not to talk to him like man to man, as long as you're not signed. And even in that video, the boy was saying, he was still using sir. Can you pay me money, sir? Which in the Nigerian context, when you use sir on someone, or when you use ma or ma'am on somebody, it means it's a sign of respect. Anyway, so let's now, look at this before we come to Asari Dokubo, because there was an interview with Abati and Coach, the Asari Dokubo. It's story there, no log off, go buy data. And if you haven't subscribed, since I did here, not even one person has subscribed. That's not fair. Please now, like, share, and subscribe. I beg you now. At least, if not for anything, share for all your social media group. No, sorry, not social media group. Share for your WhatsApp group, please. So may they come here to read where they happen. Okay, so let's continue.
Wow. The Federal Capital Territory Police Command on Monday arrested Alex Ikwechegh, a member of the House of Representatives, who in a viral video assaulted a Bolt driver.
I think Arise TV. Sorry, I had to bust your bubble on this. Make una no join fake news, I beg. Alex Ikwechegh was not arrested. It was a planted news on Instablog or whatever they are called, right? It was a planted news. So don't fall for that. He was not arrested because today he was in, he was in the chambers. A man who is arrested and probably detained cannot be in the chambers. So let's get that fact right. Then continue, OG.
In a statement, the FCT's police spokesperson said the command is investigating the matter and expressed grave concern at Ikwecheg's dismissive attitude towards the office of the Inspector General of Police with his utterances, which they say demonstrates a troubling disregard for the authority of law enforcement.
I can make this man to disappear in the whole Nigeria and nothing will happen. Can you imagine this rat? I'm not going to give this.
Even before I allow the Arise guys to come back with the analysis, the question is, he said he can make this man to disappear in the whole Nigeria and nothing will happen. I know he has, he has sought for apology. I would say, since you have sought for apology, but in the same sentence of apology, can you tell us how many people you have made to disappear, please? Because you can make them disappear, meaning, deductive reasoning. People are saying so, they do them before. People are saying so.
I'm not going to give this boy 1 naira of my money. No. I'm not going to give this silly boy 1 naira of my money.
You've been insulting me, and I'm being quiet.
I pray that you do. I pray that you insult me. Can you please insult me? I'm not going to call my policemen to beat you up. I will beat you up. I will show you that I'm a big brother to you. I will slap the hell out of you and I will lie you down, lock you in my generator house.
Now, if you actually look at it, if you actually understand this way, the way I say this, he said, I will let you know that I'm the big brother of yours. I do not know the actual age of the Uber driver, but I think the Uber driver is much older than him. The young man is 44 years. He was born in 1980. So as someone who is born in 1980, I think the Uber driver has seen a couple of Christmas before 1980. So maybe because of the smallish status, then he thinks, oh, this guy is, I can just abuse him in this way and nothing will happen. And he actually says these things, that's nothing will happen. And eventually, sadly, I'm not preempting the case, but sadly, I would say eventually, nothing, very likely, and nothing will happen. I mean, that's, it's Zakwantri. All of us are in Zakwantri now. Come on. Eventually, we're going to be here. Nothing might actually happen to him. So let's continue.
You know who I am? How dare you?
Are you slapping me, sir?
In the video, the place that I watched so many times and I laughed so many times is when he says, "Are you slapping me?" I say, okay, what's wrong with you? The guy just they slap you, they woos you, slap you. They ask him, are you slapping me? Are you normal? Then they slap you. They say, people ask who did they do something? They say, now waiting they do me. Of course, now something that they do you. What's the worry? The worry is oneself. Are you slapping me? No, they are kissing you.
You see this place? You suffer. I'll deal with you.
Are you slapping me, sir?
I just did. Slap me back.
Okay.
How dare you? How dare you?
All right, so this is where I am. I just got 3 slaps from this man here, just because I told him to come and get his stuff and pay me my money. So he's claiming that
Tell them my name is Honorable Alex Ikwechegh. I'm a member of the House of Reps. Tell them I slapped you.
Okay.
Call the Inspector General of Police. Call him. Let him come.
Okay. Okay, sir.
Record me very well. Record me very well.
All right. That's nice.
You came to my house to disrespect me?
I didn't disrespect you. I said pay me my money and let me leave.
So, again, he confesses to the camera that the only sin the young man committed was, in his view, that the young man disrespected him. But again, I do not know any section of the Nigerian Constitution that says it is a slappable offense. It is a slappable offense if somebody disrespects you. I mean, I'm not aware, in the words of Buhari, if anybody is aware in which sections of the Nigerian Constitution that once you disrespect somebody, then it becomes a slappable offense. Like I said, it's just that the Nigerian system has made everybody so aggressive, especially the rich. If not, the most commonsensical thing he would have done is to use the bold review. The best thing he would have done is, okay, you've done this. I think your attitude is not good. Then I'll keep quiet. You leave. I'll do you a review. I'll give you one. Write. I think I don't know whether 200 characters or 500 characters. Just write. I do it. In fact, most times, anytime I write a review, means it's very it's either the guy was exceptionally good or that the guy was terrible. That's the only time I write reviews. If you're in between, you just normal write, come in, the guy just ignore you, blah, 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 then nothing. But if you're really rude, I use the review. And that review, let me tell you, Nigerians, it does. It puts people in check. That is the power of soft power. So not everything is gra, slap, do this, do the other one. No, now calm down.
You came to my house to disrespect me?
I didn't disrespect you. I said pay me my money and let me leave.
Come on, give me that phone.
Member of the House of Reps. This man is the audacity. We played this video yesterday. This is what we see here. But I believe he has apologized. But, a lot of users on social media have even complained about the fact that why is it that there are so many different, arms to this House of Rep, whether it's federal, whether it's state? Let me take this tweet from Master G, who wrote, I think it's time to scrap the Federal House of Representatives and add their functions to that of the state houses. They are simply double stamping the functions of the Senate House. It will save us time and money. Those reps in the state houses need more engagement. They absolutely need, because it looks like this man has nothing to do other than slapping a Bolt driver. Again, like I said, he did apologize, and I'll read a part of his statement, if you can pull that up quickly. And I think this part of his statement was what I wanted to highlight. He wrote, committed to change. I'm taking immediate steps to address the underlying issues that led to this incident. I am seeking professional counseling to ensure that such behavior never happens again. Additionally, I will be engaging in community service initiatives focused on promoting respect, empathy, and understanding. Call to action. I urge all Nigerians to join me in promoting a culture of respect, tolerance, and understanding. We must work together to build a society where everyone is treated with dignity and respect. Thank you for your understanding, and I hope that you will join me on this journey towards healing and growth. Sincerely, Honorable. I thought that was an honorable state. I hope.
Well, some things are better written. As they say, if you want to hide certain things, put it in a book. In Macbeth, those of you that have read Macbeth, it says there is no way to find the mind construction on the face. So his mind construction at the point of penning down, by his PA, people who wrote that, because obviously he didn't. People who wrote any of them who would write such. But let's assume for 1 second that he wrote. Sorry. Let's assume for 1 second that he wrote this. And let's, think that he would promote a culture of respect, tolerance, and understanding. I would say, hooray, Jesus is coming next tomorrow. No? And he says we must work together to build a society where everyone is treated with dignity and respect. Well, until Sunday night, he didn't know that we have a society where dignity and respect matters, because obviously you lost it on that. But anyway, you have sought forgiveness. I believe forgiveness should be given. But if you ask me, there is one more thing to do. Go to the Bolt driver, bring him up, and apologize to him. Augustine says he doesn't have common sense. Some of you are really into it. But let's continue.
I hope he's honest. Because this is the sort of thing that you want to hear after you make such a grave mistake. Our pastor, why are you smiling like this? I don't know why. Yes, go ahead. Why are you smiling?
While I understand, and I'm all for forgiveness and letting go, but I think we need to make examples of certain people.
Yes.
I'm glad that the party he belongs to, ABGA, have released a statement condemning his actions and saying that they're going to set up a disciplinary committee to investigate and, you know, and then see if he's guilty, then they will mete out appropriate punishment. I do think that we've seen one too many incidents like this, and especially as you're saying that we're seeing more, and I don't think it's because it's gone more, it's become more. It's because social media has now highlighted a lot of these things. If that Bolt driver didn't record the altercation... Exactly. You see, she nailed it. You know, when we talk about this, it's not like these things have increased. This things has been there. It's just like the case of rape. Do you know how many people, even in the 50s, 40s, 60s, 70s, that got raped? And all you hear, in some cases, when it became so obvious, some of them, if they are people who are well-to-do, they would actually marry the lady in question, you know, and just to cover it up, you will hear, this man married the wife and the wife's sister. No, he married the wife and they impregnated the wife's sister. But in most cases, so that it doesn't go out of this thing, because it's power play. Who are you? Come here. I rape you, get you pregnant, and that's it. But here we are. If not for social media, if the guy did not record it, imagine that it was the old yellow cabs, yellow and black cabs, without smartphone. You know, imagine this is a driver that drove with Nokia 3310, no ability to record audio or video. He would have been slapped. They will use Jack Spanner on his head, yet nobody will know. So I think technology actually exposes this to more. And I can always encourage anyone, if you are in doubt in some of the times when you get altercation, one thing I would always tell us is that try to record as much as possible without exposing yourself that you're recording. When you're recording, I encourage you, do not just put your camera like this and be recording, please. Because that, when you do your camera like this, can actually endanger your life. I would rather encourage that if you want to record, most times just hold your camera like this, covering the face without letting, if it means folding your hand like this and be listening while you're recording. I mean, try as much as possible to not to show that you're recording, because even if the face of the individual or the people are not being obviously set in there, but there are also audio and some movement around there. I am up for people to record, but I would always advise professionally that record as much as possible without being found. I recall when I was one time at the Anambra International Airport, during the time that it was being built, that the governor didn't allow anyone to come in. I was the only person that were even to go there and get out pictures and tell people this is how this thing is. Was the first person that called it a poetry house, because if maybe they had allowed people to come in as early as possible, we would have not maybe have that warehouse called airport that we eventually received. Anyway, the only thing good we have there is that we have wrong way. So let's come back to this. It would be his word against his, and it would have just gone scot-free. And that's probably what has happened in the past, where people in his position have used their power and influence to oppress those who don't have as much and then get away with it. I mean, even look at the way he was, if you hear the way he was speaking, he was speaking like he said, you will go missing and nothing will happen.
Do you know who I am?
Yes. And then he apologized to the IG of police because the statement he made was almost disparaging to the office of the IG, saying you can call the IG. I do think, yes, he must go. He should go through the counseling. Everyone can be rehabilitated. But we need to make examples to show that we zero tolerance to this kind of behavior. We've seen it one too many times. And if you can make one example, maybe before you do it, you will think twice before you behave in this sort of manner.
Dr. Bate, I wanted your comment on this story.
You know, there was a similar incident in Britain. I think the MP's name is Amesbury.
Yes.
You know, he beat somebody up. Immediately, his party suspended him as a member of parliament. Now, the syndrome we have here in Nigeria is the big man syndrome.
Yes.
Look at how that Alex was sounding. Do you know who I am? Go and call the Inspector General of Police. People just get power drunk because they've been given an opportunity to serve. They don't understand the meaning of service. And the young man was saying, you just slapped me. He said, I will slap you again. Record me. Nothing will happen. You know, this kind of delusion. I think people in public positions should be punished for it. So I don't think the apology by the fellow, I'm even finding it difficult to address him as honorable. I don't think it goes far enough because we should begin to recall persons like this. The people of Abia North, Abia South Federal Constituency that he represents should see this as very embarrassing to them, that they have sent to the National Assembly somebody who has no modicum of sense or decorum and will behave like this in a manner that will embarrass them. If we make an example of one or two of them and we record them from Parliament, that is how...
Not only even... Abati, hold on, Abati. Not only even recalling them, let them refund us half of the money they got. You know, something that will really send the signal. Record them, let them pay, let them refund the money they collect.
There will be a deterrence. Anybody can write an apology letter. It's not enough. It's old enough.
In fact, that apology letter was written by ChatGPT.
To know, how to conduct himself and not oppress somebody that he thinks is of a lower class. To him.
Well said.
Yeah.
Well said, Dr. Abati.
And he was even boasting, I can call my policemen to come and deal with you. Right. You see what they do with these policemen. That's why he doesn't even respect the Inspector General of Police.
And that's why they were furious about it. And they arrested him. But, we're going to follow up on the story and we'll find out what the actionable causes.
For 3 hours. I think that's the limit.
Well, all right.
After that, he can go and bring his lawyer.
All right. We'll follow up.
Abati Dumbers. He said he can detain him for 48 hours. After that, he can go and rest. But honestly, I think the Arise TV, you are not informed. He was not arrested. The news broke on yesterday night, and Very Dark Man actually made video that he was not arrested. So the thing is that he should pay, he's apologized. For the fact that he apologized. But that apology, sorry, honestly, I don't know. If you just oppose the man who spoke Sunday night and the man who wrote the apology, they are two different individuals. They are like Enyendeba. They're like two different individuals. Anyway, that's on that note. But before we get into Asari Dokubo, I know many of you are waiting. Something happened in Nigeria, have been happening in Nigeria for a couple of days. There is no light anywhere. Many people you see come online now, especially from the north, are either using solar or using generator. And I've asked any of you who can afford it, please move away from this national grid. Just go solar. Go solar, you get light. Forget. I know it's expensive, but the noise that would increase your blood pressure all the time will just disappear. You don't need to have all the lights on, just 1 or 2 lights. Even, by the way, if you go to the other room, you put the light off. So you don't need the light. All you need is either the fan or the air condition. Anyway, so there's not been any electricity in Nigeria for the last couple of days. I think about 6 or 7 days now, or it's not 10.
Infrastructure and other public assets that caused the blackout and is now leading efforts to end the disruption that has paralyzed. on me already. But you know I love you, and I love that. Because you are, of course, always from a good outage that plunged the northern region of Nigeria into darkness last week, according to the special advisor to the president on information and strategy, Bayo Onanuga. The president is saddened by the reports of vandalism and willful destruction of power infrastructure and other public assets that caused the blackout, and is now leading efforts to end the disruption that has paralyzed social and economic activities. Northern traders in the frozen food industry have lost their goods due to no electricity for over a week.
Nigeria jaga jaga, everything's scatter. Woman they suffer.
This is actually frozen food that is, you can see like this. And the music that was playing on the background is Idris Abud Karim just saying Nigeria jaga jaga, everything scatter scatter. So when you look at this, it's a sad sight to behold that all those that are involved in frozen feed warehouse or whatever, that everything really, I mean, honestly, it's a sad, when I say sad sight to behold, when you look at those videos, that everywhere is just, everywhere is just damaged food everywhere, and for people, that is loss of billions, with capital B, billions. But the sad thing is that none of this food will be thrown away because hunger there, people go still eat them all.
Not imagine what these traders are going through. Not just the traders, schools, hospitals. It is insane. Let me take some reactions. This is from Malam, who wrote, as we entered the ninth day of forceful blackout in northern Nigeria, patients are dying in hospitals due to no alternative provided to cover up the gap of electricity. Our people are in danger of losing their lives. Please save North, restore light, save lives. He went further to write, I am a welder. Due to the forceful blackout in northern Nigeria, my business has closed for 7 days now. No light. I can't afford to be spending 15,000 naira on petrol every day. I have no choice than to remain jobless until electricity is restored. Please save North. Reconnect our light. Peter Obi took to Twitter and also reacted. He wrote, the continued power outages in many parts of the country, particularly in the northern and eastern states, as well as south-south states, have remained a cause of grievous concern. This power crisis, when combined with the present high cost of petroleum products and a harsh operating environment, remains a lethal recipe for widespread business failure and increase in poverty in the country. I have consistently maintained that solving Nigeria's power and energy crisis is not rocket science. Many of our comparable peer nations have demonstrated how possible it is to provide sustainable power for their citizens. Our African neighbor, Egypt, for example, invested aggressively in their power sector, which resulted in the establishment of a sustainable power infrastructure by way of many power stations. Today, Egypt has revolutionized power and energy production in the country, providing sustainable power to millions of small businesses, which account for over 90% of active enterprises in the country and contributes to over 80% of their GDP. My sincere thoughts are with everyone enduring these tough times in our nation. Well, the president has summoned the Minister of Power, Adebayo Adelabu, the National Security Advisor, Nuhu Ribadu, and relevant agencies to speed up the pace of work to restore electricity in all the affected states in the north.
Fixing a transmission line within 3 days to 5 days, we should finish. That is when you work under standard temperature and pressure, STP. When there are no security threats, when you are sure of your safety in the area. Why it has escalated to this level is because we've not been able to guarantee security of lives of those that will work there. But Mr. President has assured me that He has also instructed the NSA, the Chief of Defense Staff, the Chief of Army Staff, and Chief of Air Staff to provide the required security for the people that will fix the demolished line.
All right, Ayo, I mean, some of the reasons attributed to this power outage was, the issue of vandalism. I'll take one more reaction, and I'll come to you for your comment. This is from Jafar, who wrote, "The vandalization of 300 kV Shiruro power towers is a new twist to the security challenges in the country. The government has made a crisis communication blunder by telling the world that the terrorists are capable of grounding the nation in a crisis situation. The saying goes, truth should be the first casualty. What about blaming a faulty turbine, low water level, or turnaround maintenance while strenuous efforts are being made to rectify the towers, destroying a critical power artery that gives life to our social infrastructure is akin to holding the nation to ransom. What is more important now is not only fixing the lines, but safeguarding them from further attacks. I suggest the government should mount thermal cameras at the towers to monitor movements around the area and also consider establishing an agency for the protection of critical national infrastructure."
You see, in Nigeria, our solution to most of these issues is to throw cash on them. We have the NSA. We have Office of the NSA. These things could actually go under the Office of NSA to protect critical national infrastructures. People in their houses can actually fix a solar-powered camera for between 110,000 to 150,000 in their houses. But the government that takes humongous amount of money cannot do the same. I mean, these things can be done. At least you have a monitoring room where these things are set up, and you stay somewhere, monitor them. The same thing with the rail lines. We should have dedicated individuals that when you see them, either you deploy drone. I mean, at some point in the life of this nation, we should get serious. So far, now let Dogon Trench with a blow. Now let Dogon Trench. And to blow this Dogon Trench, Asari Dokubo had come out now to say that what those things he said in the video are actually not what he meant. He said that he owes his life to Tinubu because he came to this interview. They asked him about those things he said. He said that, well, he didn't mean it the way he said it. I said, now, wow, ever take politicians and cachivists, ever take them serious, then you may be landing yourself in trouble.
That empties into the wetland created by the tributaries that emptied into the Atlantic Ocean.
All right. Okay.
He created the Niger Delta, where he brought Imo, he brought Abia, he brought Ondo, he brought Edo, he brought Akwa Ibom, he brought Cross River.
All right, Mr. Dokubo, let me come in here, please. Delta. All right, Mr. Dokubo, let me come in here. I'm so sorry because I know you have a lot to get off your chest, but unfortunately, our time is limited. Some of the issues you've cited are some of perhaps the conversation around the effectiveness or a reorganization required for the NDDC. The makeup of the NDDC, like you said, there are some states in there that would also fall under the Southeast Development Commission, which is under review. We also look at perhaps the reason why this regional Ministry for Regional Development is created in such a way as to ensure that we don't duplicate efforts. We're going to have the Northeast Development Commission and the likes. What do you have to say about that? I say this because perhaps this is a move to make it more efficient and move away from what we currently have. Don't forget, the NDDC, the Niger Delta Development Commission, will still come under the Ministry for Regional Development.
We are talking of law. We are not talking of effectiveness. The wishes and caprices of a leader does not amount to the law of the country.
Oh dear, there are some things where we hear and say, now, wow, we are talking about law and not about effectiveness. And you said, I reflect a little bit. I'm talking about law, not the effectiveness of that law. Nah, brother, that doesn't make sense. I rather prefer the effectiveness of law than the law itself.
That they have created Southeast Development Commission, Northeast Development Commission, whatever development commission. Where is the money going to come from? The money of the Icho, Okoni, Ishekri, Orobo people, and Igbo people. They tell us that oil is no longer important in the world, but it is our oil money they are using. You know, they want to make you look, feel inferior, look little. But each time they try this, they expose themselves. What we are saying, who decide what is efficient? What is efficient in Nigeria?
Mr. Dokubo.
Is our railway efficient?
Very quickly, sir, Bimba will ask the next question. You enjoyed, at least prior, and you admitted it yourself, that working for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to get him into office, you enjoyed quite a cordial relationship with him. In fact, you composed a number of songs in solidarity with him. Were you consulted? Have you had the opportunity
song by
hold on.
Sorry. He said he actually composed turn by turn. You know, some of you said that. I recall when one time I was coming out from the Court of Appeal, Abuja, and I used my camera to record them, his boys, when they were singing, beating their drum. You know, the same, just to show you, the same set of individuals that is in his house in Bayelsa. Early in the morning, he come there around 8. These guys are already smelling of weed and dry gin. Early in the morning. And on this date, I was actually trying to interview some of them. I did that myself. And, you know, they had spokesperson, but I was able to outmaneuver them and spoke to someone who didn't understand. I said, why are you people protesting? The guy said, we are protesting because we won the election. I mean, I can't forget that interview. It's a very classic one. I said, for the first time, who wins an election and goes on protesting for winning the election? So obviously, Asari Dokubo said he spent $2 million. $2 million. I said, shit, there is. We know they gave shishi because we want to fix something. There is money in this thing, $2 million. But anyway, let's come back to that. He said he composed the turn by turn song. And he doesn't regret what he did. But hey, here we cut him pants down. Sorry, over to you.
With him. In fact, you composed a number of songs in solidarity with him. Were you consulted? Have you had the opportunity?
Yes, song by Tondo.
Yes. Yes, so you are singing in support of him. Were you consulted? Have you had the opportunity to speak to him, or has the line of communication totally broken down between you and the president?
Guys, wait. Important message. First of all, I'm Rory Reid.
So when they come back, they will tell us if the line of communication has broken down with him and the president. The next part is cracking.
I supported Mr. President because I knew him before he became senator. I knew him before he became governor. I knew him before he became president. And God willing, if we're alive, I will also know him when he ceases to be president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. But what I'm trying to say, this is not about me. This is not about an individual called Alhaji Mujahid Dokubo Asari and Ahmed Bola Tinubu. It is about my people. And when I'm speaking about my people, take me out of the way. I'm an individual. My relationship with President Ahmed Bola Tinubu was very robust. And at all times, the benefit I derived from that relationship was one-way traffic, was from Ahmed Bola Tinubu alone. His coming out for presidency was the only time I was able to pay him back. And I did. And even if he comes out tomorrow, I will still do it. Because at the time, General Obasanjo buried me alive. He stood by me.
Wow.
And I'm not going to be in a hurry to forget that.
Makes
but
sense.
That is personal between both of us. You talk about the line of communication. See, there's an Islamic preacher, Ikwechegh. He said, when somebody becomes an emperor, an emir, a sultan, Satan becomes his best friend and advisor. Because Satan will always be there whispering to his ears. Was Jesus not carried to the pinnacle by Satan?
Okay,
and offered the whole world that jumped down. I will give you everything.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Now, we've understood you. We understand you're also saying that this conversation is not personal. But a lot of people would disagree because you've made statements such as that if President Bola Tinubu fails, we should hold you responsible.
At this point, Arise TV, let me help you. If President Bola Tinubu fails, hold me responsible. Okay, you talk.
I said, if Ahmed Bola Tinubu fails, hold me responsible.
You say?
I say, if Tinubu fails, hold me responsible.
Thank you.
The job people are already angry that this is the worst government.
We have just started.
We must learn a lesson. This man!
You're going to trust man. Man, Adam. Your eyes will see what your mouth cannot talk.
You go the trust man. Okay. So let's go back to conversation.
So my question is, should your people...
I still stand by that statement.
Obviously, he said it. He still stands by the statements he made.
So should the Ijaw people, the Ogoni people, the people of Niger Delta, should they hold you responsible for the fact that their ministry has now been scrapped?
I still stand by that statement.
Yes. So should the Niger Delta people hold you responsible? Are you taking responsibility for the Niger Delta ministry being scrapped? Since you said you would be taking responsibility.
That is why I am crying out. That is why I am crying out. Because I am vigorously liable to any infraction of the exploitation of the Nigerian people, not just Niger Delta people. Because I stood in front of everybody. And I'm not going to deny what I said. Even if it is tomorrow.
But you are denying it already.
Ahmed Bola Tinubu encounters any problem, difficulty, I will still stick out my neck and stand.
No, you denied it already.
Because at the time he stood for me, I would have been dead. I would not have...
Oga, you have already denied it. It is... I have a video of you saying, and the reason nobody should hold you responsible is that a monkey had a baby and they tied the baby at the back. The monkey does not know when the baby plucked some fruit. So how can you, after saying that, now come here to deny? Okay, let me remind you your words, not mine.
Tinubu, I knew. And I took all the bullets, emptied my account for, and said, hold me responsible. Hey, people say, in talk say, if Tinubu failed, hold me responsible. Tinubu failed, hold me responsible. Yes, I said it. Because the Tinubu I knew, I had so much confidence in him. But Tinubu I'm seeing today,
see, the Tinubu I see today, he began to laugh. Say, what in my heart they see, no be what in I be preaching.
Monkey say when he carry him pikin for back, they go in don't know what him pikin collect.
Why are you denying that you didn't? see.
So make nobody hold him responsible.
You see? He say nobody should hold him responsible because he's like the mother monkey who carried a small pikin for back. He didn't know. So Tinubu is the small pikin. So he didn't know when Tinubu went away and began to pluck some things that they didn't discover.
Yes, sir. Monkey say when he carry him pikin for back, they go. You don't know what him pikin carry and collect for back.
Say make nobody hold them responsible. Yes. Because that's what will happen for in front.
I know.
Now you know. It has taught me a very big lesson. That sometimes trust is very expensive.
Okay. In fact, I go only just ask you at your age.
Mumu not too much. You be mumu. You think say they wise. You are a mumu man.
I'm not saying you're speaking to yourself, but what you called yourself is what you are. I didn't call you. It's you that used your mouth.
The Tinubu I knew. And I took all the bullets, emptied my account for, and said, hold me responsible. Tinubu becoming president, all of you, I mean, the powder I pour for my body that night. The happiness, my aunties there. The happiness for this village. The people who no vote us, they don't even come out.
Did you hear that? Confession. The people that did not vote for us did not even come out because of the terror. Exactly what MC Oluomo did. Those that did not vote for Bola Ahmed Tinubu were chased out not to come out. So he's saying that even in Bayelsa and in Rivers State, those that did not vote for Bola Ahmed Tinubu in his own vicinity were not allowed to come out. Confession time.
We kill cows. The joy what I get. I pour powder for my body like a newborn baby. I don't born newborn baby.
So, Oga, in all this, I will say this to you once more. In your own language, in your own words, your own tone.
Mumu not too much. You be mumu. You think say they wise. You are a mumu man.
Now you call yourself, no be me. But anyway, let's go back to your conversation. I only played this part for you to know that some of us are keeping tabs. So don't come to arise and deny the things you have already said. Let's go ahead.
I've been in this program talking to you. Obasanjo would have killed me. If not for people like Ahmed Bola Tinubu who stood by me and did everything for me.
Well, Dokubo.
So I am not going to be in a hurry. I am not going to be in a hurry to forget that.
Dokubo, will you say that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu...
I'm with you.
Will you say President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is succeeding or failing as president, given the reality in the country today? And to still go back to your matter with him, you said you emptied your bank account, you spent a lot of money, and Tinubu is there in Abuja. You are not benefiting anything. So what would you like to benefit from him? Now that you helped him, you supported him, and he's there. He has forgotten people who supported him.
To my broadcast, if you had listened to my broadcast in full, I met President Ahmed Bola Tinubu. I met him, both in camera and behind camera. And he asked me, are you interested in pipeline? He will be listening now.
Man, sometimes it's quite nostalgic to listen to how our
and I told him
common patrimony, our common resources is being shared. He's now giving us the revelation that he met with the president, and the president asked him, do you want pipeline contract? Wow.
I'm not interested in pipeline contract. He's alive. I told him, I am not interested, but I can assist those who are doing the pipeline contract in any way I can for your government to succeed. But I'm not interested. So I never said that it was personal gain I was looking for. I clearly said in all my broadcasts that my needs are very small. My needs are very small. So what I'm trying to say, and it's very clear, President Ahmed Bola Tinubu becoming president, I should be able to tell him the truth. And what is happening in Rivers State.
Now, when Abati asked this question, obviously one thing that he does not want to admit here is there were some personal funds he spent, according to him, about $2 million. That the only thing he got in return was someone giving him 300 million naira. So 300 million naira. Well, let's say if as of that time, if money was about 150, it's not that much. But bear that in mind, that he is basically telling Nigerians there is something wrong. When Abati pressed, he said, well, it's about Rivers State. It's about the governor Fubara. Listen to his argument.
Where President Ahmed Bola Tinubu is supporting Nyesom Wike to destabilize Rivers State, to disturb the peace of Rivers State. And as a stakeholder in Rivers State, I feel disappointed, totally disappointed, for the president to allow his minister serving under him to run amok.
You know, sometimes I may want to only address you with your own words because I do not know what gives you the impetus to think that a president would heed to your advice more than a man who rigged a whole state for him, a man who controls another party for him, a man who controls the city in which the president, or rather the capital territory, where the president spends over 90% of his time, at least, in the days that he will be the president of the Federal Republic. It beats common sense to think that your needs and priorities will be higher than that man who probably could offer the president in a very, in this warped, kaput, useless system that we have, because election is coming in the next 2 years. You do not have the capacity to rig a state for him. You do not have the capacity to for him, and there are things you do not have aside the capacity to to run terror, which can be countered by state terror, by the army, NSA, whatever. It's just that because of your close proximity to the president, that's the only reason why they are keeping mute. But if not, come on, they actually know what to do. And I say to you, Asari Dokubo, in your own words,
Mumu not too much. You be mumu. You think say they wise. You are a mumu man.
Well, you said it, not me.
Procure judgment and all sorts, threatening the people of Rivers State, because what they are trying to do is, we are going to remove FOBRA and nothing will happen. And I'm saying that if you remove FOBRA, something will happen. If you try to remove FOBRA, something will happen. And that is it. That is what I'm talking about. I'm not talking of any personal benefit. I cannot be appointed minister. I cannot be appointed into any board. I did not lobby for any board. I did not lobby for anything. So it's not personal, like I said. Yes, I emptied my bank account. I spent over $2 million US. I cannot even count in naira what I spent.
Boo! Just to win Rivers, not the one Wike spent. $2 million US dollars. Yet he's not angry. 200 million US dollars, $2 million US dollars. He's not angry. He's telling us that the only reason why he's angry is because they want to take Fubara. People, put on your thinking caps. In as much as I do not want Fubara to be rigged, to be taken out, because he has already rigged. We know who won River State. Wike rigged out the rightful owners of that River State election. But here we are now hearing that they spent $2 million US dollars. Punch your calculator. Tell me in the comment section what $2 million US dollars is in Nigerian currency today. And what is Asari Dokubo's business? And how does he get $2 million US dollars? Asari Dokubo had a university at the Benin Republic. How many thousands of dollars or pounds do students pay in those universities for him to have amassed so much wealth? Asari Dokubo, what do you do as a business to amass such wealth?
And I did not take a dime from him or anybody except 10 Jackeries who gave me 300 million naira.
10 Jackeries. I don't know. Do you know who is 10 Jackeries? I don't know. For those of you joining us for the first time, please, 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 this is a very late night broadcast. It's 5 minutes past the 12 midnight here in this part of the world, and this is 5 minutes past 11 for those of you in the United Kingdom. And for those of you in the United States, just getting to your evening, your dinner time. Like, share, and subscribe. The question that I still have for Asari Dokubo is, how did you get $2 million US dollars?
All right. Okay.
Well.
All right. We have to go now, unfortunately. But, I mean, it would have been great to interrogate your statement around working with the North for 2027 and you coming out to say that from now on, you're not working with the president anymore. So I just want to assume that the relationship with you and the president in the past, you're not taking it forward from today. So from now on, are you stating that you are now moving to the other side because you're no longer in support of just one statement? Just one statement, that you are no longer in support of President Bola.
This woman, this lady pastor is wicked. He said just one statement. Just tell us, as if we just want him for Tinubu to arrest him from the studio. Abana, allow it.
Misquoting me.
Okay.
I think you are misquoting me.
Okay, please then.
What I said was very clear, that our fathers worked with the North. And I was in the forefront fighting against our fathers, Melford Okilo, Aro Dababria, and so on. And from what Obasanjo had done, and Ahmed Bola Tinubu has done, we, the younger generation, we go back and align with the North. Because that is where Bayelsa was created by Abacha, Tafawa Balewa put in place Niger Delta Development Authority, and so on and so forth. And for us,
okay,
I think our relationship with the North is far better than our relationship with any other people.
All right.
I think this is basically him trying to spin, I mean, he gave a good effort, but I do not think that anyone with any gray matters in between the skull will fall for such spin that he tried to do there. I mean, that's what I call it. It was a spin. Okay, for those of you who are still awake, and maybe this evening we may allow you as people to join without your camera because it's a very late night. I know you might be joining me from the other room. So in case you want to tell us if, as we started, Alex Ikwechegh says that he's sorry. Do you think Nigerians should forgive him? Do you think Nigerians should forgive him? The link to join me is on the comment section, and you can just click on it. You'll be allowed in today to come in with only without your camera, and obviously understanding that at this moment in time, you may be sleeping or you may be lying down watching me on your mobile phone. So we do not need to make it more complicated because, or that many of you might be watching me, having charged your phone earlier in the day. You may be watching me from Zamfara or Sokoto. So let's know if there is power in your region. If there is no power in your region, please, by all means, also do let us know. Join me here on Ginger Media TV. And while you join me, please endeavor to be a subscriber. And in the last hour and more, and I've not seen anyone who has joined. So please join so that we can, we can cheer you up, or we can give you an applause, whichever that sits better with you. We can always give you, or we can do some boza for you, some gunshots like the Niger Delta for you, right? So, waiting for you to join me. And if you wish to join me through telephone, obviously, for those of you who have the number, WhatsApp only, you can call the number on the screen, or you use the um, the link on the screen. So, if we understand what Asari Dokubo had done, I would rather think that maybe he had reflected on the comments he had made in the last couple of days, and suddenly found out that these comments were not really helping him. Obviously, he has the right to be angry with the president, but sometimes my policy is that never attempt to speak in anger. Never attempt to speak in anger. Because whenever you speak in anger, it doesn't end well. Quote me anytime, anywhere. It doesn't end well. So in this case, I believe as they were playing the music and he was, he was overwhelmed by emotions, then he began to speak in anger. And in speaking with anger, landed him where he had to agree to that interview to try to, make things right, because the things he said there were, in those his own videos, right? The things he said there weren't right. So if we come back to Alex once more, normal side says, I think Alex should be made example of our lawmakers' lawlessness. I agree. Many people, that's actually the view of many people, that he should be made to um not just be a thing that you just let it be like that, right? That he should be made to pay the price. Hold on, did I miss any call from anybody? I didn't. So that he should be made to pay the price. And I think many people would actually agree with normal science saying that Alex Ikwechegh should be made an example of our lawmakers. Now, I think many of you are actually arguing in the same line of, in the same direction. It says the honorable must pay for his sin so that he will learn his lessons. The question is, how do you want him to pay for his sins? How? You tell me. How do you want him to pay for his sins? He has apologized. He has said that he's sorry, that he's going to be taking, he's going to go on a rehab to, learn manners and etiquette, and that, he's sorry. If someone is sorry, what do you do? If someone hasn't said sorry, then maybe the anger will be justified. Many of you are Christians, and even the Bible says you should forgive your enemies. So why don't you forgive him? Just forgive him. Maybe the what's it called? The boat guy may have actually forgiven him. So should that be the case, why don't you, that is not directly affected, why don't you forgive him? Thank you very much, George Aguapo. Aguapo George. Thanks, Mazi, for the good work. I thank you. For those of you thanking me, this is the end of the month, end of the month. Please also do well to use your super chat and super sticker. Support us in any way you can. Support Ginger Media TV. You can do that by using the scrolling banners at the bottom, or you can click on the comment section. You see the dollar sign. If you touch it, the dollar will take you rounds the world. And in taking you rounds the world, it would eventually come to a place where we say, thank you very much for your support. Right? So, the honorable must pay for his sins so that he will learn his lessons. The honorable will pay for his lessons. You say again, his apology is not enough. He must pay compensation. Okay. If the honorable is here, what sort of compensation do you think that he should pay in order for him to atone his sins? Obviously, the things he did, it wasn't nice, but he has found the boldness, which is not too common with the people in Nigeria, that he says, I am deeply, deeply sorry. If someone says, I am sorry, why
I just want to state once again that I am human. Even though there was things were said, and those things I regret. I apologize to all Nigerians. Regardless of the provocation, there should be no reason why I should react in that form. So I want to use this opportunity to appeal to all Nigerians. Let us let what has happened remain in the past, and let us forge forward. I just want to state.
Okay. I have my first caller here. Where are you calling from? Good evening. You're speaking to Mazes, okay? Yes. Okay, yes, I can hear you. You're watching me with another device. Could you please turn off the device you're watching me from so that we can? Are you able to do that, please? Okay, I can hear you. So go ahead. Who am I speaking to and where are you calling from?
All right, my name is Yusuf calling from London.
Okay, go ahead.
My mother, I'm deeply disappointed in you.
Okay.
If you are saying that they should forgive this guy, you understand? Are you getting my point?
I know be God now.
Continue allow nonchalance.
Mm-hmm.
This kind of nonchalance to continue.
Okay.
How will you justify a public servant? We the people are paying his bills.
Mm-hmm.
You expect such person to come in a public space to display such I don't even know the words to use to actually qualify him. You say they should forgive him. Do you actually listen to do you actually watch the video? You listen to kind of words that was coming from his mouth, right? Can such a person, such a human being represent a people? Are you getting my point?
Yes, I am.
If we the taxpayer, that guy can come in a public space to display such I don't want to use a very bad word to qualify him. It doesn't fit to represent anybody. It doesn't fit to represent anybody. The earlier we begin to set records straight, the better for us. You understand? There is no of apology or whatsoever that we redeem the image. For Christ's sake, he's a public servant, not just a public servant, a representative of thousands, millions of people. Are you getting my point?
Yes, I am.
That guy should be recalled. They should use him as an example to others that they are not above the law. Are you getting my point? So That is my own contribution.
Okay.
Right.
So thank you very much for your contribution. I appreciate that. However, I was only asking you a question: should he be forgiven? But you have
The
run
suspension.
into conclusion that I'm supporting that he should be forgiven, right? I'm only trying to provoke my viewers into understanding, like when I cited the Bible, that the Bible said, forgive your enemy. So, what do Nigerians want? Do you want to forgive him? And in the comment section, I have Nigerians saying that he should pay 50 million naira to the taxi man as a compensation. Do you agree that he should pay 50 million naira?
Left to me, there is no amount of money that he will pay to redeem his image.
Mm.
You understand? For somebody to come out openly to tell Nigerians that, or to tell in Nigeria that I will disappear you.
Mm-hmm.
You call such a person an honorable. What is honorable about him?
Nothing.
You understand? It means if he can do this, hopefully he has been doing this secretly without people seeing him. Right? There is no amount of money, to me, there is no amount of money he should pay or he will pay that will redeem his image.
Mm.
How can you allow, to be honest with you, Mazi, will you allow a person like this to make laws for you that you will obey?
Mm. Correct.
Yeah. Will you allow a person like this to make laws for you that you as a person will obey?
Mm.
It's annoying.
You have a point. I have Omoye's Corner. Omoye's Corner is reacting to the statement I made that the Bible said you forgive your enemies. And Omoye's Corner is reminding everyone and saying everyone is not a Christian. And she goes on to say, forgive in the bush. He needs forgive in the bush. He needs to be dealt with. So I don't know. And even Papobi Nonye Dot is saying he should resign. So actually, many Nigerians are not actually, you people I say, you know say this thing will happen. So starting from the beginning of the year, you guys had this slogan, we no grief for anybody. So this year, you Kuma self, you no grief for him too.
Mazi, do you know the reason why people are reacting this way?
Everybody's angry.
If you look at our political space, most of our elected leaders, they think or they feel they are untouchable. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
They can mix anybody up without any recourse to whether you are a human being or not. You understand?
Mm.
How can you be calling somebody a monkey? You call him
many times.
I'm telling my point. I watched that video.
Because listen, I'm glad you said you're calling from the UK. I know that. Listen now. I know that you could actually order from McDonald's, KFC, 805, or even Enish, and you can use Uber Eat, right, to get this thing delivered in your doorstep. So I have someone joining me online. But so when the person comes to your doorstep, what happens? They ring you to come and collect your parcel, right? So they come to you, so you come to your doorstep. Depending on the level of house, if you live in a flat or in a semi or in a detached house, but if you live like the way they live in Abuja, you live in a place in a gated area that you cannot come in. Because there are houses, even in England, that are so gated that you can't even come in. That means you have to stop at the street and call the person, and especially at night, you don't know if that person has dog. I think the safest thing is for you to come out, because obviously I don't know, I haven't been to this house. You could have a Rottweiler that is very hungry and may want to use my backside for pepper soup. So I'll be scared. I have a family. I don't want to, nobody wants to buy. And the guy comes in, and actually the worst part is, if you ask me, is that he comes in, he greets him twice, he didn't say anything, then he rings him, the phone rings, then he starts his ballistic, the ballistic missile in his mouth. maybe someone had annoyed him before then, because if you read his statement, he said that he's going to.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether someone annoys him or not. It doesn't matter. You understand? Because when you actually, when you watch the scenario, what actually plays out. To be honest with you, the Uber guy, I think Uber or whatever they call him,
They should sue him, right?
They should award that guy.
They should.
Imagine if I were to be that guy. To be honest with you, I will retaliate.
Thank God. Anyway,
the guy was so present enough after the slap and all that. You were like, no, it doesn't make any sense.
Okay. Thank you very much, brother. Thank you for your insights. I have someone else calling, and I have someone in the studio. So thank you very much. I appreciate it. Hello, who am I speaking to?
Good evening. My name is Tony. I am calling from the US.
Okay, Tony, you're calling from the US. Stay on the line. I have Omoye's corner. Omoye, are you there?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay,
So,
greetings to
Omoye,
you.
yes, I am here with Tony from the US. I believe you're also from the US.
Yes.
Right? So can we have your your opinion as to the conversation we are having this night?
Yeah, sure. So my take on it is this. I think, by the way, I think this will all blow over. It's just a matter of time. There's always something happening in Nigeria.
It's already blown over. It's not even it will. For me, It is already blown over.
Exactly. Events have taken over. Yes. But just to say that, first and foremost, the representative handled himself very, very badly.
Poorly.
I don't think the rep,
he handled himself
Mr.
very
Master,
poorly. I agree.
very poorly, zero social skills, does not understand what it means to serve the people, to be a representative of the people that you claim that you're serving. And the other issue I have is the company itself, Bolt, ought to have put out a statement condemning the actions of that customer. And if the driver was kind, most times we have Bolt drivers or Uber drivers, he's not even meant to come out and do anything for the man. He is the one who requested for something, and the person paid money for him to show up to deliver that product, whatever it was. If he did not want to be bothered, he could have sent. Most of these reps have, domestic
Drivers.
staff. Yeah, he could have asked them, hey, go pick up so and so from that person, and then the communication, the interaction between him and the Bolt driver was very it's reeked of disrespect to a human being, to a fellow human being. Matter of fact, the Bolt driver acted more like the representative of the people than the representative himself. And then I didn't like the fact that he was hitting this man on his chest and calling him all kinds of names. And then he even said to him, go ahead, record me, go ahead. And you're bragging. So I say, he said in that video, he can pay 50 million to have this man unalived. So the least that man should get should be 50 million. If I were that man, and I go, even though we know the judiciary is crap in Nigeria, right? It's crap. I don't even say it with no apologies, right? That is the least amount that man
How
should
did
get.
you arrive at your? I know I might need you as an accountant. How do you arrive at 15 million?
He said it in the video. He said he can pay 50 million to have the man disappear. Yeah.
So
if you go back and watch that video, you would see.
I understand that part. So you want him to pay what he said he was going to pay someone
to unalive him. That's a crime, by the way. For you to, that's a threat, right? To a person, to a human being. So that's a threat. Number one, you humiliated the guy. The whole world has seen that video. You called him all manner of names. There's no way he can scrub that off the internet. Nothing you put on the internet is going away forever. They claim that it goes to the cloud. You can still get access to those videos.
Hold on. Is this a Nigerian thing, or Tony? I will come to you quickly. Is it a Nigerian thing, or is it actually a political thing? Recall that a couple of years ago, where you both currently reside, the one who was your former president at some point was heard on camera saying that he was going to grab a woman by, and up to now, by all whatever has happened, he's still contesting an election and nothing has happened. So isn't that the world political class, with some exceptions in some countries in Europe, that when something like this happens and there is a public outrage based on the moral burden that this imposes on the individual in question, you may have an individual begin to think of stepping down. But in some parts of the world, probably not restricted to Nigeria alone, sometimes these things are let to go under the bridge. Omoye's Corner, let me take Tony. Tony, what's your take?
Thank you so much, Mazes. Okay. We saw the video, and I was wondering if this video was not available, if the guy was not smart enough to put this on video, and maybe this whole issue would have just gone the way I suspect many have also gone. The optics is not good. The apology is not enough. The issue we're dealing here is a crime against an individual who was assaulted. He was threatened. In fact, the threat, if you reinterpret it, he was saying that he's either going to kidnap him or he's going to kill him. That's a crime. So the state should take that up.
The state should take that up.
Yes. And then, for me, the issue should be taken to court. The police should prosecute him. He demeaned the IG and the police. He assaulted the guy. Bodily harm, physical assault, tore his clothes, threatened to delete him, whatever he meant by that. And then, I think even the House of Rep should really feel disappointed with his conduct and behavior, because he was very, very dishonorable, and so his constituency too should be looking at recalling that guy. So my take is that he has to be sanctioned, and he's not fit to be there. The apology is not, for me, is not.
Are you agreeing with Omoye's Corner that he should pay the boat guy 50 million naira?
That would be for the court to decide. That would be for the court to decide.
But here we are the court of the public opinion.
Yeah, that's between him and the guy he assaulted, if he accepts it. But I'm saying, it has gone beyond just an insult on the person of the boat driver. This is something that also has to do with the state, and the state has every right to defend the guy who's assaulted. But to the question that you asked, is it a Nigerian thing? Likely, I would say is the Nigerian thing. This is impunity that we see all over. We see military personnel assaulting civilians. We have seen this case before, where a member of the House of Rep assaulted a lady, and it was all over the social media. We don't know what happened. I think in this case, we see a civilian slap a police person because he's popular and belongs to one of these famous families. We have seen all kinds of impunity. From VIO, I just read about a VIO that pursued someone, commercial keke rider, and eventually
the one in Enugu, right? And they ran into an accident. Yeah.
Yes, yes. So we see all those impunities. I mean, you can go on and on and on. I think there's a total breakdown of law and order. And this time, I think this guy should not be left up to hook. They must use him as an example so that others will learn. That's my take, because in the UK, about 2 days ago, we had someone in the parliament who assaulted somebody, and they didn't waste time. They didn't waste time to suspend.
Okay.
So I'm surprised that.
So in this case, would it be fair after the Committee on Ethics and Privileges have reviewed it? Would it be fair that they give him maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks suspension? Because if you give him 4 weeks suspension, I don't know if their salary of over 15 million is being affected. You know.
Well, he's supposed to be a leader. He has not shown good. And I think, is that going to remedy the damage that has been done to the house, to the person, and to his person as well? I think if it's a place, in other climes where things work well, by now he should put in his resignation. Because this is a conduct that is intolerable. If he's married and he has children, I wonder what he'll be saying to his children and his wife. This is intolerable.
Okay, so some people are saying the public Princess Hollywood says we are the court of public opinion. No, he should go to jail and make him pay damages to the boat driver. Some people are.
I mean, there are questions that we have to ask, because he says he will fight the guy. The DSS should swing into action.
Okay,
and find out.
let me bring in this lady here, and I'll go back to Omoye's corner. There is a lady called what's her name again? Kemi. Kemi, on Twitter made some may consider that a wild allegation. But listen to the allegation Kemi made here.
Dr. Kemi Lawrence, continuing on the situation with the Uber driver, Mr. Stephen, and the lawmaker, Honorable Alex, the case is becoming a little bit complicated. VDM did an interview with the driver, and Deji Adeyanju's office filed a petition at the IGP's office. And VDM's interview is very critical. I've seen some things that many of you may not have seen, and it's pretty serious. Let me tell you what they are now. This driver, Mr. Stephen, his car was seized or impounded. His car is here in the police station. The first thing the IGP needs to do is to authorize that car to be released. The car has nothing to do with it. He released the lawmaker and he had the crow thing that was just crazy. And, we went to Igbobi, and Igbobi tested him. They didn't find a virus. In those days, that's a lot. It's just like a bunch of Ewedu 25,000. They said it's some kind of, there's a healing substance rain. Everything's fine. But one single snail, Mrs. Adewale said it's going to be used for rituals.
Okay. So they said that, she is now alleging that it's about one single snail, and that this snail could be something for ritual. And if this is a case of ritual, and she says the following too.
That's what she told me. I mean, Uber drivers are delivering a lot too. Go to Ghana. In Accra, we're talking about that. Yango, Bolts, riders, they're delivering so much drugs. And it's been controversial because Ghana has legalized marijuana for medicinal use. And the growers.
Okay. So, now, since this is the court of public opinion, and let us now conjure a lot of, based on what she said now, my mind is now running amok. I am looking at snail prepared with some green, and in that green, some things that may be planted at the back garden could also be inside, and we are well mixed, and someone might be sitting down somewhere waiting for that to happen. But in the words of Kemi said that since it's snail, it could also be ritual. Omoye's corner, what's your take?
I have heard this angle, actually, not from this lady, obviously, but I've heard that angle that I think it was on Twitter. I saw it on the Twitter timeline. Somebody said that cannot be snail because someone can. Why are you waiting outside to pick up the snail? That's not even, so somebody alluded to that. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. These things are very foreign to me. So hearing it is a bit of a shocker to me. Like, wow, but knowing that Nigeria it's in a very it's in a terrible state, anything goes, right? So there's a possibility that might be the take. But I also wanted to quickly address when you compared this situation to Donald Trump's situation. Mazi. Hey, how can you compare apples and oranges, by the way? Donald Trump's comments were done outside, and Donald Trump's comments were made with someone not thinking that there was a videotape going on. It was a private,
is it because there is a videotape on this one? But what we are talking about is the office.
Now, you say you want public opinion. Now you're trying to gag public opinion.
It is the office of the public servant. The things you say must be clean, not grabbing stuff and slapping. Because what is the difference between slapping and grabbing? Because there is no willingness. The guy
those are two situations. I'm sorry, I don't agree with you on that. Those are two situations. You're trying to compare it because of the extreme. And by the way, DT got a lot of slack for that. That actually is part of the reason why it cost him the election the second time around, on top of other issues as well. Right. And again, that Nigeria has not gotten to a place. We don't even have the structures. We don't have the types of leaders for us to be able to compare what happens in systems that are already structured with a jungle. I'm sorry, I'm from Nigeria, but that's what it is right now. So to compare the two, I don't think the comparison quite aligns. That's me, it's my opinion anyway, right? Then on top of that, I feel like what the House of Rep could have done to kind of tone this down was for the speaker to quickly issue a statement saying we condemn the actions. This is not typical of a House of Rep member, whatever they want to say, even if it's a lie. It would have taken it down a notch, but they didn't do that until people, because we have a situation in Nigeria where the social media has to be dragging you for them to even move. And this situation, by the way, could have totally been avoided because he could have just asked one of his drivers, go and pick up that thing. They don't know what it is, whatever it is that Kemi is talking about. They don't know. Go and grade this thing for me, and then you'll be by the window watching. He didn't do that, So I think it looks bad for him. It goes to show that Nigerian representatives lack the social skill. They lack the leadership skills. I don't think they get any training, and even if they do, they just go there, eat jollof rice, nkwobi, pepper soup, carry many girlfriends. That's it. Nothing enters their head. That's what because they look at Nigerians like they're slaves. They don't have respect or regards for the citizens. That's what it looks like to me.
Well,
can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay.
I mean, we'll take that. We'll take your point on board. Tony, do you agree with her?
Well, yes. There's really, if you bring this matter before the court of public opinion, there's nothing.
He won't survive.
Yes, and you don't need the two persons to appear before our court because we saw everything. We saw him boasting. We saw his gesticulations and pontifications, and he was so sure that he is a king.
But we did not see his own video camera. Maybe, when you go to court, you bring evidence from both sides. So maybe if you showed his video camera, you might see where the guy was being rude. Don't you think so?
No, but the video we see speaks for itself. The guy that was abused has brought his own evidence. The law says he who alleges must prove. And the man has not countered anything that the boat driver said. So based on the evidence that we have before us, and the fact that if it wasn't that, a good part of that unfortunate incident was captured on video.
Okay.
There's no way we would know exactly what happened. But again, I also want you to look at the place, what transpired according to the boat driver.
It's also an abuse. The police abused him as well.
Yes. So we're not looking in that direction. And I think that, the whole system is decayed. The IPO should also be disciplined.
I agree with you because one of the things is that they asked him to leave his car. Now his car was not, there was no crime that was committed. Actually when the altercation happened, it happened outside the car. So the car was only a means of him moving from point A to point B. They had, the police had no reason to detain his car in any way, shape, or form. He was the one that was assaulted. Okay. Yes. But let me quickly throw this question to all of us before we call it a night. Gerard Onochie said, much ado about nothing. I think many Nigerians are just jumping on the bandwagon to air their frustrations. Alex has apologized, and we should move on. I don't condone him assaulting the boat driver. Should Nigeria just move on and let this be as it is? Omoye.
No. No. We as a people that have lacked good leadership for a long time.
This one, we don't see where we go fit hang somebody.
We need to deal, yes. So anybody when come out when behave badly, we need to, because I don't think that we realize how decadent the society has become and how this could have totally been avoided. Nobody knew Mr. Marcos before, Mr. Mascot before this. Nobody knew him. So this could have been avoided. So since he allowed himself to be pushed, and again, that speaks to the fact that a lot of Nigerian representatives, politicians lack social skills. They don't know how to control their emotions. A human being that cannot control their emotions is worse than an animal. That's just the truth, because you cannot allow someone to get you to the point where you lose your ability to see the other person as a human being, because he treated that man terribly before the eyes of the world. So the world is going to judge him harshly, whether he was good before, whether he has. That's not what people are seeing. And your claim about, okay, we don't know what happened, that's what Morayo said on TVC, and she's getting flack for it. Okay, why did he too not start recording so that we will have two sides?
Exactly.
Something do in hand. He says get phone for pocket now. If Okaya come out, they record so that we go know, okay, this one side day, this one side day. But everything that this driver, I have to give kudos to the driver. He was able to comport himself. No person, no fully blooded person that lacks control will be able to control themselves like that. That could have turned out ugly. The boat driver, if it was somebody else with a different type of attitude or character.
If I'm not can spanner, then that won't.
Do you understand? Anything could have happened, and another thing we go to talk. So I have to give kudos to that man for not allowing himself to be aggravated because he still claims that he has pains in his chest. So to leave the man, no, I don't agree with the man that says, with all due respect to him, the man that made the comment, everybody's not going to react like he is reacting. He can move on. But there are so many people that are going to hop on this for a long time. I have already moved on. I just saw that this conversation is happening because I was having a conversation earlier with someone. That's why I hopped on to just add my 2 cents, because I think that as Nigerians, we can't, if we cannot get to where we need to be right away, we need to start somewhere. And if I were that representative, he should do an apology with remorse. That apology stinks. That apology reeks of ego. He should do. Does he not know how to act movie? He should go and learn. Act. Oh, so I'm really sorry.
Your anger is that he did not call back the Uber driver and apologize properly to him.
Yes, it is the Uber driver he did the wrong to. It is the Uber driver that was humiliated. He could apologize. Do you know if he had apologized to the driver directly, these conversations we're having will be a mute one?
Do you know?
A lot of people will be coming. Sorry, go ahead.
In agreeing with you, I had actually argued earlier, if he had reflected on what he did before 9 o'clock on Monday morning, that he would bring, if he had brought the Uber driver back, right, and really had it recorded, apologizing, sorry, brother, I deeply apologize to what happened to you yesterday. Even if it means after that, and maybe give him, say, for my, childish and devilish act, I give you 1 million naira, just take 5 paracetamol, and ask the police to release. I think everything would have been dead by now, because that's emotional, because that's what our leaders sometimes, and I don't know why, as if someone you get into office, you lose the human angle,
Exactly.
and people who have, for instance, it cuts across everywhere. You have one of the issues I personally had with Buhari when he was the president was lack of empathy. You see, 200, you wake up one day, 200 people, 250 people killed by herdsmen or invaders in Benue. You read it, you say nothing. You don't go. Another Nasarawa, 150 people, you do nothing. You don't go. I mean, at some point, someone was begin to ask. I mean, it's these guys, are they human? Because the normal thing would be that you go and you show empathy. And that goes on to say, if someone has done something like this, the moment you realize that he goofed, or got the guy goofed, the guy fuck up full time. By language, by, even if not only talk, you talk and come myself, you could have been saying, okay, let's forget and move on. But this one, unprovoked, the guy, slapped someone 3 times and say, I can slap you more if you ever say anything. So put all these things together. I think it's a thing of leadership. And I think the National Assembly should actually think of having a retreat with their members, when they come, how not to be a nuisance in the House of Assembly. Now, in this saga, in the National Assembly today, one of the minority leader, I think Julius Iho Vere, had the following to say. Just listen to this.
And we all have to be very careful where you go, who we talk to, how we talk to people, how we relate to people. And sometimes you stoop to conquer just to allow peace to reign, not just in your own personal interest, but the interest of the larger body, of the institution. And we have a responsibility to Nigerians to build this institution to where it would, when we hand over to those that will come before us, they will have reasons to be proud of us. Our goal is to hand to them a banner without stain. I want to say that what has been in the news, we all probably already know about it, that our member, Honorable Mascot Ikwechegh, had an altercation with a hailing cab driver, an Uber driver. It is not my job to begin to analyze the video that we have all seen or to analyze the commentary. But I have a responsibility to say that this House will not sit and accommodate any aberration. In fact, if you look at Order 5E, it sets out very clearly how the House should deal with anybody, any sort of infraction, aberration, or misconduct by a member of the House.
So, guys, before I let you go, especially Tony, because I have others calling on this line. Tony, listening to this video now, in 1 or 2 minutes, can you summarize your thoughts?
Two things. I think he made a point that they should not be tolerated, but I quarrel with his use of calling this incident a comedy and altercation. That for me is wrong. It wasn't an altercation. It wasn't a comedy. It was a complete case of assault on a man who went about doing his job. So again, my position is that the law should take its course. This guy, as a representative, is supposed to show the highest regard, morals, and that is expected as a leader, but he failed. So he should face the law. It's not just enough to say, let it go. We have seen this even in the Senate. We have seen leadership, say all kinds of things that people quarreled with. So we need some discipline in the House and in the Senate.
Thank you very much. Thank you for being part of this evening. Thank you, Tony.
Thank you.
So I know that some of you were calling before. You can still call back now. And Omoye's Corner is still here with me. And Omoye, I want to ask you this question. Again, Gerard Onuchie has come back. He said that the Julius Iho Bere is just playing to the galleries. That is the man who just spoke now. He said he's playing to the galleries. Normal country will let the police and relevant authorities deal with the matter. He who is without sin cast the first stone. What do you think? Thank you very much for joining us. Before I get Omoye Scanner to join us, can you know who has joined us and where you're calling us from?
Okay, my name is Mr. Kinsley Anoro.
Okay.
I'm calling from Toronto, Canada. I'm just watching your program. I'm so happy for what you're doing.
Thank you very much. So stay on standby. Let me take this question. Let me take this comment from Omoye, then I'll come back to you. Omoye, go ahead.
Okay, thank you very much. So
yeah,
I kind of disagree with respectfully with Gerard Onoche's comments, because remember when I said earlier that the House of Reps, the Speaker of the House, right? He's the highest person in the House, I'm assuming, in Nigeria. A statement should have come out from the House of Reps condemning those actions. This is the role that this guy has just played. We're not talking about he who is without sin here. That has nothing to do with it. It needs to be addressed so that the entire members of the House will know that this is not an action that we should encourage. If no member of the House of Reps, which really it's the leader that ought to have spoken about this, but this man has covered for them by putting out speaking out publicly and saying we should conduct ourselves highly, because as a House of Rep member or a senator, even a politician, you're serving your duty is to serve the people. You must at all times, right, hold yourself to a very high standard. People will hold you to a high standard, so you have to be mindful of that. Now, am I saying that there won't be mistakes here and there? To your point earlier, Mazi, when you were saying that this thing could have been squashed over the weekend. Nobody would have heard about it. Just like you said, he could have called the Bolt driver, or even go and visit him and say, my guy, I beg no verse, so I something make me verse that day, and I just pour everything for your body, and I know the thing pain me. I beg my brother, no verse. Sorry, say I do this thing to you. Take this. Do you know we will not hear about it? We will not have heard about it. Even if maybe he sent out the video, it would have been squashed. immediately. But
Because
you
he
see,
would
this
have
is
had
the
a counter video.
Yes, he would have, because he would have videoed it, see him up. You remember the incident that happened where some guy beat up a driver, Uber driver, and VDM got involved and was going to take up the matter immediately, even before VDM was winning. This man, the man that beat up the guy, was already looking for this driver to apologize to him. They now did a video together with VDM saying the man has apologized, so has even given the man 3 million. Do you see the smile on this man's? That's all it could have taken. We would not have heard, with all the major issues we have in Nigeria. This is the list of the issues. I'm going to yield for now to give others
Thank you.
the opportunity.
Thank you very much. Thank you. So the caller on the phone, would you then make your submission? And sorry, so many of you who are watching, please could you do us a favor, share, like, subscribe, and if you may do well, if you want to support us, you can use the super sticker or the super chat in the comment section. Thank you. So go ahead.
Okay, Mazes, okay.
I agree to you.
I just want to say thank you again.
I see as I see as code they catch you now for Canada. I won't come.
My brother, if I tell you what that they go through now, you go miss it from there. Just they come back from home, you know.
I want Jackpot. Make una look work for me. I want Jackpot.
You stay in UK before that. Which one?
I want Jackpot now. Tinubu don't Tipen don't show me shaking.
No, everybody knows as I talk to you at the para, at the shiva, he gave a point. Because every day people they come, they cry. Are you hearing me, my brother?
Yes.
You know, people have said it all. That you there abroad, you could fear because of problem from Nigeria that is coming. I know they Nigeria, I there Canada, but every day my blood pressure is keep on going high. Because you never wake up one day, you hear good news about that country. And this the same thing P2B is calling, clamoring for, that we need a change, a new Nigeria. And people think it's a Igbo thing. Oh, don't mind that guy, it's an Igbo man. Are you hearing me? Look at what is going on today. This guy called himself honorable whatever, that slapped this Uber guy.
But he's your brother now.
He was not born in Nigeria. He said, well, he's not born in Nigeria. Is it not true? The place he was born, can he slap somebody? Even though, can he point finger on somebody's face? You know, here in overseas in Canada, I cannot even point somebody's finger on his face. It's a crime. When you're talking to somebody, even though to raise your hand pointing somebody in the face, you are in trouble. This guy is not born in Nigeria. How come about he started behaving like those that are born in Ajegule or those that are born in the bush? I don't understand. That is one thing that is making me upset. You are like a wife. How come you just changed all of a sudden? Started telling somebody, blasting this guy, you're gonna deal with him, you're gonna do that. Oh my God!
So you're actually bringing another dimension to this that I never crossed my mind before. So you are now saying, hold on. So hold on.
This guy was not born in Nigeria.
So
he was born either in Britain or America. I don't know. He
so
cannot do this.
So you are actually saying that the reason why he used monkey is as a result of the differential in color, skin color.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Didn't look at it that
all
way.
the words that come out from this guy's mouth.
So he's a Nigerian boy. He was applying some element of racism or localized racism. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. Honestly, this thing, my spirit is still hot up to this moment.
Onochie has come back again saying that your birthplace has no reflection on a person's personality or how he reacts. I think I would disagree. Psychology has it that if you have two identical twin, you separate them by birth and they grow up in two different environments, they'll definitely have two different personalities. Because someone who grew up in a place where you see people with gun on a daily basis, to people with, maybe drugs and certain vices within the society, the tendency that that individual would end up in that direction is very, it's higher. I mean, that's my response to Gerard. So, what you're saying, are you of the opinion, if you are to be a judge, not a Supreme Court judge in an INEC matter, now a judge that is going to represent the public opinion of Nigerians in a public sphere, how would you judge this matter in 2 minutes? Would you be recalling the House of Rep person, or would you be sending him to jail, or would you just say, okay, I give you 2 weeks, your sins are forgiven? How would you judge this matter?
For me, the way I would judge it before man and God, that to show example. We have gone through a lot in that country that's called Nigeria. My judgment I will pass that this man needs to pay for his bad behavior. It's an example. The judgment will be like this. He is supposed to be suspended from that house.
For how long?
At least maybe for 1 month or 3 months. When he sit down in his chamber or in his house for 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, he did not go to that chamber. Then he will realize, I have made a very big mistake in my life. And he will never try it again. He didn't know that Nigeria has changed. If somebody tell him that this day will go this way, he wouldn't even believe. Look at, I'm calling you from Canada. The news is everywhere. Even though in my workplace, people that are not in Nigeria say, what kind of thing is that country you say you came from? What is going on? How can somebody with such position demonize human being like that? I was ashamed of myself, even though in my workplace today. So what I'm saying here, please, I know you guys are trying a lot. This guy called Very Dark Man is doing a lot. And you too, you're doing a lot. We need to change a lot of things in Nigeria. Let us call a spade a spade. Police, they were trying to sweep this thing under the carpet.
But it's not going away.
Things have changed.
It's not going away. It's like in South Africa. It can't go away.
Yeah, because look at what they did there. This guy, they drove this guy car. The car did not commit any crime. But they went to police station and they keep the car. Why? Because they want to extort money from this guy.
Thank you very much. Thank you for joining me all the way from Canada. Stay tuned. Yeah. If you haven't subscribed, please do. And for those of you who
I subscribe already. I have subscribed a long time.
So for those of you, but you're not paying tithe. I haven't seen any.
No problem. I will start paying my tithe. You deserve it.
Thank you.
Okay. When are you coming to Toronto? When are you coming to Toronto?
Anytime when I buy me ticket, I can go anywhere. Even if I try embassy, they refuse me. I will try my Bini people style. I can appear. Thank you very much and good night.
My brother, thank you so much.
Thank
God bless you.
Yeah. So, Omoye's Corner, I come back to you. There is something that, I like the argument. I like the point that Gerard is actually bringing. He prolongs the argument. Now, on the screen is Gerard's opinion. He says, response to what I said before, it is a personal choice we make in life, how we react to certain situations. But my argument is that the environment that we operate sometimes influences those behaviors. Omoye, do you agree that the environment, because let me give you an example. Sometimes when I fly international, you are in a line and everybody is behaving like normal human being. You land at Abuja or Lagos. Suddenly you see the same person that was with you, Heathrow, JFK, anywhere. Some people would jump the queue, come collect his bag, and they just begin to behave like mad people. They will no longer stay in line. Isn't that as a result of the environment? that they found themselves. So my argument that the environment where people are influenced in most times their behavior. So many Nigerian politicians that go with siren, blaring the air like mad, insane people. That's actually what is meant for ambulance on a special duties, right? But they use it to announce their presence as a result of the environment, because some younger Nigerians have grown up to see that when you hear siren, it means that a big man is coming. Whereas in America, UK, or any other sane country, when you hear a siren, you must look at your mirror to know where that is coming from, to clear the road either for the fire truck or for the police to pass. Never in your widest dream that when you hear such, you would ever think that that is a big man coming your way. Omoye, what's your take?
Yes, I would agree with you that the environment certainly plays a role in how people react to things. Somebody who grew up in a community where all they know was violence, or all they know, depending on the situation on ground, who has a tendency to react in a certain way until they start to unlearn some of those habits on their own and start to make better choices, better decisions for themselves. So in a way, yes, Nigeria, encourages bad behavior from a lot of these people. Like the example you cited about the siren and all of that, right? Typically, when you hear a siren behind you here, you're supposed to respectfully park your car to the side, and let because it could be an emergency, it could be, fire, ambulance. Yes, essential services. But in Nigeria, no, it's a big man. When you hear siren, that's a big man coming. It's never when somebody, is in danger. Maybe the person just had an accident. It's never that. There's no emergency services in Nigeria. So yeah, I agree with you that the environment definitely influences people's way and the way they behave. However, I have to put this clause in. There are some people who maybe were not born in Nigeria, they were raised outside in a different environment. What I have noticed, at least being in Nigeria, is it seemed like when people leave the shores that they're in and come to Nigeria, they forget their manners and they start to act like those, even worse. They start
It's
to
because of the environment.
Why can't they? But they know better though.
Yeah, because you see, let me tell you, you are in the US, huh? Whenever you hear someone say, this US, this London, every time this, if it's in Nigeria now, I will do this. I will do. You know what they're actually missing? They are missing the law breaking in Nigeria. Right? That's why they cannot, confine themselves where there is orderliness. Someone who has maid and who knows he can either slap the maid or say, okay, because you've done this, you can't eat, knows he can't do it at home. There are, certain things, privileges. So sometimes it's just that when they come home, it appears, oh, finally I'm free. Let me now look for the next person to oppress. Because he's a big man, So, and that's, I don't know how we can cure this. It's not a thing that we can say, okay, the Federal Reorientation Agency or whatever could help. But somewhat, I think it's something that starts very little. That you see, because we have class. If you actually think about what I'm saying now, in the Indian society where you have caste system, you see similar thing actually also occurring, where because you are considered to be of certain class, people don't look at you. I recall that, in the younger days, when you come from Europe to Nigeria, without necessarily opening your ears and maybe frying your hair and walking in some druggy with pants down, where, because the mentality and the vision some people have, you may be looked at. Now, this one say, don't cross go Obodo. Why they behave like this? Or even some will believe that you that has gone abroad, that you are not supposed to even, again, know how to speak your local language. Then the question is, isn't that the environment or the expectations, the things they hear every day, the things they see in a greater detail actually influences the way they reason? Because if not, if you on Twitter now, you can look at this mascot, Alex. You can see him, I believe that was either in one of the cities either in England or Glasgow. You can see him on the streets where he actually tweeted himself looking dapper. I mean, he's a fine gentleman, granted. And he said, I am waiting for my Uber. And someone made a comment, you for slap that Uber now when they come, waiting for no come early. But he wouldn't do that because why? He is in a place where, is it not Ekweremadu that is wallowing in jail? Was the same thing to happen in Nigeria? Would rights be accorded to the victim or for, to whoever is from the lower strata? No, that's not going to happen. So it reinforces my point that the society that we find ourselves in, and whatever happens within the society, to your point, when people who ought to know come in this society, they get instantly corrupted too, because that privilege that they've been missing in America, they suddenly want to. A man who cannot afford to, people who cut their, who do their lawn, using lawnmowers in America, UK, or Europe, they come home, they can't even lift the glass cup because they can pay someone peanut to do that. So isn't that abuse? Because the society, starting from the president to every single politician, because the abuse, so it's like abuse whoever you can. But that is the thing. Abuse whoever you can. It's allowed. Just keep on abusing. I mean, isn't that the case?
I hear what you're saying, and yes, I have seen that happen, right? And I totally get your point, and I hear you, and I understand what you're saying, and I've seen it happen. But here is the thing. If we say, right, because you know better, for instance, right, I live in a functional society. When I go back to Nigeria, I carry myself as such. I stay in the line. People are going ahead of me because it's something I'm used to. And I also think that this also has to do with your home upbringing. It really plays a huge role, to be honest. Now, the flip side of that argument is, you ask a question, how do we, resolve this situation that we're currently experiencing now, or we're observing? It's you and I that's going to bring it to an end. Those who know better, right, will do the right things and also pass that knowledge down. That is the only way. There's no federal government. What federal government? They're all made up of jokers that's going to fix that. It is those who know. So we have to be intentional about our actions. We have to be intentional. If, for instance, you go, like, who was it? I think it was Sowore that went to Nigeria recently, right? And I know a few people who's been to Nigeria, and customs were, harassing them, asking them for money and all of that. They refused to give them bribe. They held them a longer time. Eventually, they released them, but they did the right thing. So if more and more people start stepping up, especially our diasporans who go to Nigeria and want to show off, who want to be doing classism inside a society where everywhere is messed up, those are the people that really need to go back. Whatever opportunities they have, they should do better by the people. But unfortunately, when most of them go back, they reinforce. They even show new ways of being corrupt and how to do it in such a way that it is seamless. That is the madness. Some of the people who head corporations in Nigeria, most of them did not go to school in Nigeria. Most of them, their parents had shares in companies or banks, which they inherited. But they are the worst. I worked for a company in Nigeria back then. I moved to Nigeria temporarily. I wanted to stay permanently. I was working for this company. The person who inherited that company, it was because the father had the most shares. That's why the person became the MD of the company. By the time he became the MD, when he came in, he didn't come in at the level he should have come in. He came in at a very high level. The way he treated the staff, people still talk about it to today. He got to, when he became MD, he now became like a Hitler. These are people who went to school. I'm talking Harvard, Cambridge, all the top schools. So it is the people themselves, Nigerians, now they do Nigeria. To be honest, the ones who they know better, instead when they will go Nigeria, try to find ways of fixing the system. No, they won't go impose their own wrong on top of and become so that they can raise shoulder. That's what happens. So it's up to us. We are the ones who can cure that. If you see a friend doing that, you say, come on now. You don't say enough, you get away with this thing for them. Why they do it? You're driving down the road, the person drinks something, go throw away and from outside the window. You are there, you know better. Why don't you say, no, we're not going to do that. How you do that kind of thing? No, put trash inside your car so that you go to put the trash inside. Not because you go litter the road.
My dear sister, a word of caution at your own risk sometimes. I'll give you two instances. At Danilo Gusoya in Lagos, opposite Airtel office, there is a zebra crossing there. Myself driving, came to a zebra crossing, stopped because there are these two ladies wanting to cross, across the other side. I think they came out of Airtel office. I stopped. And then and a guy on bike banged on my car. Okay, why are you blocking the road? Now, would you come down to pursue him for banging on your car? Or would you come down to actually start lecturing him that's the meaning of zebra crossing and what it means? Because you live in a place where when you see the zebra crossing, you know what it means. Another example, at Otiba Junction in Enugu, the light around 9 o'clock at night says red. I stop, red. I'm the idiot because every other person comes in, they horn. Maybe this idiot, what are you doing here? You're waiting for the light to go. So everybody is passing. At some point, you're going to be like, before they rob me here, okay, Kukuma, make I go. So, it comes down that I understand, I hear you, I understand what you say, but sometimes the society itself, and hence I'm asking, how do we begin to fix the mess? Because the mess, forgetting that we're just saying this, what happens in various families? You see abuses. Someone, the other day, I think in Anambra State, used hot iron to, press the body of a young, innocent child that is less than 10 years old. And the next thing, when the commissioner came and became involved, I visited the whole place, and the woman was kneeling down. Oh, please, I beg. Now, I beg. Have you ever jumped bus and you didn't pay a train or bus in the place you live, and the controller comes? Whether you beg for Jesus Christ to come down and shake your hand, that fine must be paid. But in this side, okay, waiting. Now you, this they beg you since. They beg you since. Can you imagine? Somebody breaks the law and they say that they beg. Even Every Nigerian is now criticizing what this guy is done. There is a way that they would even handle this. Come on, Mefisile, this is not the first person that have actually gotten it. He has apologized. Even here this evening, we've seen people say he has apologized. Let's move on. But again, how can you, those nations that got it right, didn't get it right without a deterrent? That is punishment. I once flew into Singapore. Singapore, inside the airport, where you feeling, they give you a card. In that card, it's written there, do you have any drug? Say yes, so that you stay alive. If you say no and they find out, nakbai, they put it there. As long as you sign that card, now death warrant. So they have to control, and even in that country, your wallet could actually drop. You come back a day, 2 days time, you still find your wallet. Why? Because there are consequences for action. I agree with many of us that in this case, yes, he's apologized, but there ought to be consequences, no matter how small. Your last word on this.
Yes, thank you very much, Mazi. This has been an interesting conversation. So, I think you've answered the question yourself. The deterrent is key, but without the right types of leaders, how do you make the deterrent work? Right? So that's another thing. That's why it boils down to the individual person, and we as individuals can also push for those heads of departments, right? The police force, what other, okay, let me say the police force, the security, the EFCC people, whatever, to do the right thing and hold people accountable. If you're punishing someone for an offense, let it be so. No favoritism. Whether not your brother, whether not your pikin, you go suffer the punishment for whatever. That's one of the solutions you were asking for earlier. This is it. You've already answered that, right? And then I just want to quickly use the opportunity to respond to Mr. Gerard Onoche, where he said that there will always be class system that's controlled by money. Those who come from well-off families should not have to circumstrain most of the backward masses of Nigeria. Guess what, Mr. Gerard Onoche? The joke is on you, though, sir, respectfully, because those who actually I don't want to say most, some of these well-off families are the ones who are running our institutions to the ground. Okay? They are not even trained. They don't even have the training themselves, not to talk of training. They don't even have it. Right? So most of them are the ones creating the problems that we have in Nigeria right now. So I think as a people, we need to really be intentional because we're looking for a new Nigeria. What new Nigeria do we envisage? What kind of country do we want to see? That would determine how we move forward. Whether we want people to be punished regardless of where they come from or who is related to who, even if it's the president, right? Or the head of department is found doing something wrong, he should serve a punishment, serve his term. It's that simple. Without those deterrents, our society is not going to be better anytime soon. We're going to keep talking. Nigerians are very good at talking, myself included, with nothing, no action.
Well,
So that's my last.
You have seen where the action has landed the man. The man has slapped, and if now only talk, if for no land them. So our actions should also be guided. On that note, I let
Thank
you. Thank you very much for being my guest this evening. It's been an interesting conversation. Please, like I said and I always say, please like, share, and subscribe. Join me tomorrow, 7 p.m. for another round of conversation. We never know what's going to happen. When we wake up, we see a new topic. For this country, as it happen. Now, so we're going to talk. We can't keep quiet. And for some of you who said that we talk and we don't take action, of course, we do take action, but sometimes, but we won't give up. We won't give up. We won't give up. Recall that during the election time, and people said, before you come and govern us, come and tell us the ideas you have for us. One of them said, no, he won't, because he doesn't want you to know what he has in stock for you. It appears today everyone is now crying because of.
I don't want to sit here and reveal all my strategy. I am the first speaker among the three of us running. So they will spy on me.
So we have seen those fantastic ideas that they've stolen from him. But anyway, in the words of the APC people, this, in fact, let us even.
Today, I want to declare without equivocation.
I cannot bite your tongue. In the words of Asari Dokubo, Asari, on this note, I said,
Mumu na too much. You be mumu. You think say they wise. You are a mumu man.
Asari Dokubo, we don't know, can't know who vida mumu, who know vida mumu. People, I thank you once more for joining me, and I'm glad we made it up to this point. Please like, share, subscribe, and support us if you may. Good night from here. Bye.